So I didn't get a chance to film a video yesterday. I was with Millie for pretty much the whole day. Um, we had just a lovely day together, just doing stuff, me in the flat or wherever. Um, there's not a whole lot to talk about. So what I thought was I'd just tell the story of something which I've mentioned previously, um, about a lesbian brawl that happened at the place where I work. Because I mentioned it, but I thought it's such a mad story that I might as well just tell it. Well, it's a mad story for me because I'm someone who's never ever been involved in any like fights or things. And my first ever place I worked, which was a nightclub, a pretty disgusting, horrible nightclub. There were fights that happened there, but there were bouncers who would sort it out. All I'd do if there was a fight at the first place I'd work, I'd be pouring a drink and I'd just be like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'd just sort of I'd look at it and then just continue what I'm doing. But there's no bouncer at the place I work now. It's just me and someone else if it's a busy day, and then we've got to be the ones who sort it out. So I think this was back in January or maybe late December, and there were four people came in. I think it was two pairs of lesbians, and I will say like the most stereotypical lesbians you could ever imagine. Like just think of a lesbian, like the most stereotypical, just lesbian, like just stereotypical lesbian, and that was them that just materialized just in person. And one of them, this chubby little fucking bastard, was very very rude to me and my coworker. And this coworker, by the way, I mentioned a couple of videos back. Not that I'm expecting you will have watched every video because, but in case you have, this coworker is the nicest person you could ever meet. She's like an older sister to me. She's just lovely. But she can lose her rag a little bit with some really shitty people. But she can lose her rag a lot. So it was me and her, and I was just serving people, serving the general public, who are 95% polite people. And I was thinking, why are they taking so long with the card machine? Because there's only one card machine, you see. There's one little screen, one card machine, and my coworker was using the card machine with some customers. So I was thinking, like, come on, I'm serving this guy, but I've got to wait because this whoever this fucking customer is, they're taking a real long time paying for their drink, so I've got to wait and apologize to this poor fucker. And that went on for a bit too long, and eventually my coworker just lost it. There was something about this specific customer that they were infuriating, and she slammed my coworker. She slammed the card reader down on the thing because they weren't paying for their drinks. They bought a load of shots and they weren't paying for it. And I'd never seen my coworker angry ever before. She stormed off somewhere and then came back about a minute later. And it eventually ended up like my coworker, she was screaming at these people, "You've got to pay. You've got to pay for these fucking drinks." And I thought, like, me being me, a kind of impartial person to this whole affair, if I'll get involved as well, because these people are dicks. They need to be told what they need to be told, and they need to fucking pay for their drinks, and they pushed me. They pushed me back, or one of them did, and then it ended up being my coworker went roundabout to the front where they were. It was screaming at them and screaming at them, like, because eventually it wasn't just you need to pay, which they did. They did eventually pay for the shots, but then they were asked to leave and they wouldn't leave. Excuse me. So I was trying to hold my coworker back because I thought she was going to start throwing punches. It was like a shoving match, and I was trying to hold her back because even though I knew that it wasn't her fault and it was those stupid fucking bitches who weren't paying for their cocktails. No, not the cocktails, their shots. I still wanted to hold her back because I thought she was gonna like start throwing hands. And I swear the whole like thing escalated from a bit of a push and shove to a fucking fight, and it spanned the whole length of the pub. I don't know if I've ever been filled with like more just adrenaline just from the whole situation. Well, I don't know, but eventually it reached the door of the pub, and some random guy. Well, he's called Omar. He's a really lovely guy, but he decided to take matters into his own hands, and he kind of restrained one of the people who's doing most of the fighting, and it ended up on a table, and the girl at the table threw a punch at him, or kind of just threw hands at him, and he punched her in the right, punched her right in the face. At that point, I just fucking threw myself like around him, just to get him away, just get him to the back of the pub. Eventually, my manager came down. It ended up being that my manager was basically dragging all these people, the people who started the fight, just dragging them out of the pub. And oh god, it was awful though. Like especially when that actual like really hard punch was thrown straight in that girl's face. It was really bad. Like it wasn't scary. It was just adrenaline. Like for about half an hour after that thing, I was trembling just from adrenaline. I've got a few seconds left of my memory, of camera memory, so I'll let it end itself. Bye.